Poison Ivy, issue 42, G. Willow Wilson writing with Marcio Takara back on the art. So this is it's a U book, Matt. Take it away.
Yep. So the last, I had to go back because where this starts off, Pam's already won the mayorship. So I had to go back to the last month's issue, and I'm like, did I miss something? And no, we're doing a time jump here. So the last issue ended with her and having Great White that she had met in jail. You know, the Great White Shark, the mobster. Her declaring that she's going to run for mayor. And when this picks up, Pam is already mayor, and she is having a meeting with the police commissioner, Vandal Savage. And Savage is like, you know, I know that I mean no disrespect, Madam Mayor, right? And he gets shocked because she says, you know, bull, stand up straight, take your hands out of your pockets. She's already laying down the law. And Pam tells him that you're going to cut the police force. Their budget cuts. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. He gets upset and he's like, are you trying to start a war between the police and the mayor's office? And yeah, so we find out that as mayor, she's hired Janet to handle human relations, but shocker, right? And she's brought in a Great White Shark and Peter Undine, the guy with the flower face, to be in her cabinet. And at one point, she's walking out and making, you know, an appearance at a public forum, and some guy yells at her, calls her stupid hippie, and to go back to Seattle. And the police kind of rough the dude up, and Pam looks over, and Savage is saluting at her, which makes her feel a bit uncomfortable. And yeah, she goes to a city council meeting and introduces these people that are going to be on her cabinet. And she has Warren White, who's Great White Shark. He's going to be overseeing infrastructure and development. And Peter Undine, the flower face guy, is going to be looking over green construction. And Janet is in charge of people and culture, which is just code for human relations. And rounding out her team is the girl that we met last time that was talking to that almost AI thing. Her name is Juhi. And she is the interdepartmental liaison, which Pam says that they needed to leave people from the old mayor's office, so there's some continuity. And then she just dismisses the city council, who are not happy by this. And she's just like, look, they're like, you can't do this. She goes, you know, the people before me did this. You made it part of how it works. So now we're going to do it like we always have. And so you can go. Which I feel is Wilson talking about current things going on in this country with decorum and the way things used to run. And if that's the way we're going to do it, you break the device. Now you have to use it broken. And in the mayor's office, she notices this weird plant that she tells everybody to ignore. But you know, as she's sitting there, she's sitting with her eyes closed. When she opens them, Xylon, the entity from the gray, shows up and essentially tells Pam that because she killed the Bog Venus and Janet ate her, which was to save Janet, she's created an imbalance between the different kingdoms. And as they're talking, there's this big boom, and Juhi comes in, and come to find out that she's a magic user. And she can see Xylon, and she fired like this bolt of energy, and he leaves, and I'm assuming he's laughing because the text, when he talks, it's not in a bubble, it's just on the page. And it says her, which HURR, which I'm assuming is like a laugh. And he leaves being tickled by this magic user throwing energy at him, and tells Pam that he'll be watching. He's like, your task is great, but I see you have help. And Juhi's like, what was that? And Pam explains that it's Xylon. And Juhi explains that, yeah, no, she does magic. She had a good teacher. And I feel like this is a tell, and I haven't figured out who it's supposed to be. But it says she's trapped in a nightmare at the moment, but she's one of the best. And Janet comes in. You can tell there's tension between the two of them, between Juhi and Janet. And Pam is like, yeah, I don't know what I got myself into. She looks completely like over having to be mayor already. And
it didn't last long.
She's like, no, right? And she's like, Janet's like, I want to help. And she's like, I don't want to, she asked if somebody hurt her. And Pam's like, no, I hurt somebody else. And then it cuts to a sad looking Harley with tears coming down from her paint. And Pam said she wouldn't have done this if she knew what it would have cost her. And that was Harley. And Janet looked shocked. So this is news to Janet. In addition to the mayor's office stuff, Pam's given her people, the Green Knights, almost a position in the government. So they're wearing these green armbands, which is not ominous at all. And they're walking around with impunity, and they see a guy litter, and he throws a can, and one of the guys runs over, is like, you need to pick that up. And the guy's like, it's just one can. He's like, yeah, but if everyone just throw out one can, that's how we end up a floating garbage dump. And they intimidate this guy into picking up his trash. So, it doesn't feel like Pam's the person that should be mayor, but we already knew that. Anytime she's been given a chance to lead, it has gone poorly. So the fact that this has jumped in both feet down to time jump, Pam is now the mayor. It's something that she is regretting. I'm sure we'll unravel how this all happens. The council also wasn't happy with Great White being one of the people on the council because he is a mobster and they met in jail. So there's already some tension there. There's tension with Savage. And then we have all of the teases of Xylon and the different parliaments at play here. And Xylon even mentions a part that I just saw as I'm skimming back through, that they mentioned that Janet is also the reason for all of this, that she threw the parliaments out of balance to save her friend, or your mate. And because he says this was an escalation, and Pam's like, she tried to kill one of my closest friends. And he goes, oh no, you mean your lover. So again, this issue is just all about the tension that Pam's having in her new role as mayor. Takara's back on the art, which is a great addition, because we got kind of the watercolor vibe, and Pam now in another new outfit. She's wearing like the kind of power suit that you see women politicians wear, but it's all green, right, in different shades. And she's filled up her mayor's office with all these different plants. So Takara gets to draw all the slush stuff inside a typical office space, which is nice. So, pretty good issue. I just am wondering this whole mayor thing. I know there's something building in the Gotham books with her as mayor from looking at the solicits. So I'm wondering if this was always the plan for her to jump into mayor, or if it's just something like they thrusted upon Wilson and she's just trying to make it work. But yeah, still pretty solid. So I'm going to give this a 7.5.